Good morning, guys. Come on, Friday morning. Wake up, wake up. Good morning. I have a profound question for you. A profound question. How many times are we going to use the word AI during my presentation? Or for the next 3 hours? Guesses? Get your mind working. George, how many times are we going to use the word AI? 50. We have 3 hours. We have 180 minutes. Every fifth word needs to be AI, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay, I have a more simpler question for all of you. Are we shaping AI, or is AI shaping us? I'll repeat that. Are we shaping AI, or is AI shaping us in the marketing and the commerce domain, right? Okay, but maybe show off on my hands first. Are we shaping AI? Who is are we shaping AI? As humans, are we shaping AI? Okay, who is for AI shaping us? Okay, who is for both? All right, cool. Okay, examples of AI shaping us. ChatGPT shaped us 18 months ago. They launched on our fingertips. Everybody had access to it. How has ChatGPT shaped humans? You can cheat on your exams. Yes, I cheat on all my presentations on that. Other examples? Anil, did you just say AI shaping us? So all this advertising that you have been doing is now targeting you, what you should buy, what you should be doing. For me, I would say, the moment, at least within marketing, was 2 months ago. Feb 2024, exactly 2 months ago, Super Bowl commercials. Something happened within the marketing domain during when I was watching those commercials. And I'll give you some insights about that one commercial, and I'll show you what the commercial was. $17.5 million was spent in ad placement for a 75-second ad. Super Bowl, one of the highest viewerships, so that's accepted. Interesting other stat, $0 spent in ad production. Of course, I'm being a bit fastidious here, but it was close to $0. Another one, 0% AI used in ad placement. It's a TV commercial, probably no AI used. 100% AI used in that commercial creation. That's quite an interesting dichotomy of the marketing industry that we are living in. Usually, I would say 3 years back, would it have been the opposite? A lot of AI used in ad placement or not? A lot of AI used in ad placement via programmatic, etc. But from a production cost of creation point of view, typically marketing will spend 70% placement, 30% in typical production. So would you like to see it? I guess yes, right? Come on, yes, okay. Yes, we're going to watch it. But a quick disclaimer, I'm showing it it's a very political ad. It's a political ad. And it also has religious connotations. Quick disclaimer, we're not showing it for the politics of it. We are showing it for the AI of it. But there is a societal kind of purpose hidden underneath this ad as well. So let me just quickly play that commercial for you, and then we'll discuss that commercial, and then we'll bring it back what AI means for marketing and commerce from that commercial onwards. A string of AI-generated images together, probably on Mid-Journey or maybe DALL-E 3, sending a, I will say, deep political message of bringing together very disparate communities together, a divided country together on topics like abortion, racism, LGBTQ, etc. But for me, what was really interesting, at least in terms of AI shaping us, was, I would say, if I look at the images, are the images perfect? No, right? If you look at the image, I mean, if you see shadows are all over the place, there's this weird plant that's, I think, there, which doesn't look very natural in that setting. I mean, look at the person's shoulder. One shoulder, it looks very different to the other shoulder. Half of his butt cheek is out of the bench. It's weird, but it's okay as and imagine this, somebody spent $17.5 million placing this for 75 seconds during the highest viewership in US. But we as humans are okay accepting it, just like how we accept cartoons, we accept comics. We're okay that this is AI generated. It doesn't have to be always be real. And that to me was, at least for me, a big shaping of our own thinking about AI-generated content in that space. But of course, all of this is cool. This is cool stuff. Frankly, I don't think we are looking into it on a day-to-day basis, right? All of this cool stuff. What are we looking at on a day-to-day basis is, hey, I've got my marketing operations. I've got commerce. I get a fixed marketing budget. I've got to hit my KPIs. How do I use day-to-day data and AI in my daily operation? And that's what rest of the day is going to be about. It's not about showing you really cool stuff that's going on out there. How do we do cool stuff in our day-to-day operations? And that's the stuff we're going to be talking about a little bit later, what we call copilots, right? Maybe just one more question before we kind of show that, right? The question I have for all of you to think about, and I'm sure this is a conversation that is going on in every marketing meeting, every board meeting, definitely every shareholder meeting, which is, what are your top AI priorities for building a digital supremacy, right? These are what are kind of How are you going to be using AI? And frankly, every time I talk to many of the CEOs and CMOs, they're not saying, hey, I've got to adapt every possible thing within the whole AI world out there. I've just got to be slightly better in digital against my competition. Here, I want to break maybe just a couple of comments from the crowd, right? Top AI priorities for building digital supremacy.
For me, I think I do see AI being used as the creative production part as well. But unfortunately, given that we're still a very fresh bank and fresh brand, so we are staying away from that at the moment. But I do see the opportunity here is that how can we be better in reaching our segments, right, on digital, right? Given that the segments that we serve are very, very targeted.
Cool, thank you for that. How about in terms of using data and some of those aspects for prediction or prescription?
I think there is as well from a data perspective about how can we predict when we talk about customer engagement, right? And given that coming from a incumbent banks, there are multiple products. So how do we use it to predict, what's the next best offer, next best action, and all those kind of things? But again, that we are still in our infancy stage. We are not at that point in time, but we are looking into how exactly can we be better at reaching our customers and positioning our offer and services before they even know that they need it, right? So I think that's a big use case for AI.
And of course, I'm sure, are your marketing budgets growing or shrinking? I mean, you guys are new, but you think next year your marketing budget will be massively up or flat?
Marketing budgets are always shrinking, right?
Always shrinking.
So we've got to find ways to how do we be more effective and efficient, right, with use, and that's where all the digital capabilities come in. So
yeah, every CMO I talk to, marketing budgets year on year are only shrinking. Your revenue expectation is only growing. So what do? Okay, focus more on down the funnel. But frankly, can you just create down the funnel improvement? No, you have to create upper funnel improvement with conversion rate optimization, which will create down the funnel conversion, right?
I think the biggest priority for me is aligning these AI tools to the profit model of my business. So every industry, every business has predominant elements that influence cost and revenue. So in my business, so my company runs the KFC restaurants, Pizza Hut restaurants in 4 countries. Construction costs of our stores is and the rental that we pay on those stores is a very, very big chunk of our cost. So the location of our stores is a strong determinant of the profits that we can make. And so we invest a lot of energy in using data and analytics to site our stores. What we find is that a superior way of locating the stores can increase revenue per store by up to 3% just by deciding where your store should be. So I think aligning the profit model with these AI tools is very important.
Cool. Yeah, profit model. Cool. Awesome. So we've been talking, of course, to a number of clients over the years. We've been working a lot with them, of course, within the data and AI space. If we were to summarize at least what we are hearing back from a lot of clients, I would summarize in 3 main areas, right? And this is what makes up, I would say, a lot of our priorities as we're thinking about co-pilots for marketing and commerce and sales. The first one is digital commerce is a true north. Every AI-driven marketing, creative, digital experience should all be about driving digital commerce. Of course, there is offline and all that, but really, digital commerce is the true north. Everyone tells us AI equals personalization, or personalizations equals AI. Definitely without AI, you can't drive the personalization that digital fundamentally promised, right? And it's not just personalization. It's like, hey, it's not just about that copy or that content, but it's about creating an extremely efficient journey that will drive conversion, which actually goes back to the first point about digital commerce being the true north. And last one, which we're going to talk a lot about the rest of the session, is the future of data is democratization. And this is to Anil's point, and maybe to George's point as well, which is how do we get the right AI models and the right data models in the right business context, in the right industry context that you're operating in to make decisions? How do we build the systems to be really useful? So AD has been working, of course, over the last, 6 years of our existence, across a whole, I would say, plethora of data and AI-driven solutions for marketing, commerce, customer engagement, right? If you look at marketing and content and creative, we created AI-generated content hub for stores on Lazada and Shopee and TikTok. Within marketing domain, we're deeply integrated across a whole bunch of media channels, integrated all the way into CRM to get data from disparate data sets to kind of drive prediction in terms of how your campaigns will perform, how these campaigns will generate fundamentally revenue out of it. We spoke about, of course, the never-increasing marketing budgets, but the pressure on marketing to deliver more revenue. So, of course, how do we utilize data and AI to drive a lot of conversion across from this ad spends? Chatbots. Everybody's using chatbots. I think consumers love to use chatbots as long as on the other side, it's a human-like interface. We as humans actually love not talking to another human to solve our problems, but we just want the chatbot to feel like humans. So we launched our WhatsApp solution. This is where we combine the cleverness of ChatGPT along with I would say, the universal presence of WhatsApp, at least definitely in markets like Malaysia, with a lot of unstructured data that's sitting inside the enterprises, right? We've created tools whereby you're just able to integrate all of your brand guidelines, your FAQs, your product catalogs, maybe all your chat histories, and then create a human-like interface automatically on WhatsApp. We've of course been doing a lot of work on commerce with your marketplaces, your D2C, and of course, we were the first ones to launch at scale customer data platforms with the likes of treasure data to drive deep segmentation, ID resolution, activation of these customers to actually drive higher lifetime value. And we've been doing a lot of work with Databricks, and we're going to show you some of the case studies later on how do you utilize Databricks for driving, I would say, your digital supremacy in actually marketing and commerce. So to us, we've been doing, I would say, two things inside clients. We've been doing a lot of their data operations, actually going into the client, running their analytics, running their AI machines, building their data stacks. On another leg, we've been doing their digital operations. We've been doing the actual work of running marketing campaigns, running their stores, running their CX, running their conversion rates, optimization solutions. So I think we've been an interesting vantage point where we're seeing the silos that exist in enterprises between their data stack and their digital operations. And for us, then the solution naturally has been, and this is not a revolution, this is just an evolution of the work we've been doing, is what we call something a copilot. A copilot that sits alongside the digital operator, alongside the marketeer, alongside the commerce practitioner, that is able to utilize a lot of data and of course the AI with prescription where it is able to guide you. So what we've done is we've taken all the modules we've been doing for clients and we've combined it all into what we call, there is a copilot for full funnel marketing. If you're a marketeer, there's a copilot for commerce, there's a copilot for conversational AI, and definitely there's a copilot for customer data segments. How do you utilize all of these elements in the day-to-day operations? And it's all about keeping it real. So to keep it real, rather than talk more, we want to show you some of this and we want to get your feedback of how these are going to be running. And all of this is available on Databricks through the marketplaces, and a lot of the data models have been integrated with Databricks. Now, while the demos will go on, the clever part is not the visual interface. The clever part is deep understanding of the business to build the visual interfaces. And the underneath clever part for us, where we've really cracked our head around, is the beautiful data integration that we are able to create from disparate data systems. Because cracking that underlying data model is where the biggest challenge has been. And until you crack that underlying data model, you can't then apply good AI and then bring out the good business insights. So we'll show you the periphery of what it looks like, but of course, what's deep is beautiful. So with that, let's kick that off. Let me invite my colleague Hubert, who heads Marketing Solutions Growth across the region, to maybe first go through full funnel marketing, and we'll do all four of these.
Good morning, everybody. I'm super excited to be spending my Friday morning with you guys. It's nice to see some familiar faces. I'm looking forward to make some friends after this as well. So my name is Hubert. I look after marketing services for the region for ADA, and I will be showing you this marketing co-pilot that you just saw. So the kind of the sign off was find your edge with unified data and the power of AI. But before we do so, let's take a step back. And this lady that you see in the background here, let's call her Yasmin. And Yasmin has something on her mind. What's on her mind is that her data is anywhere and everywhere. And it's hard to make educated decisions of what she should be doing in her marketing, right? That sounds familiar, I imagine, to a room full of marketing and analytics professionals like yourselves. And hence, she is not scaling her outcomes. What do we do next? If only she had an AI-powered co-pilot. And this is my cue to step to my laptop, because this is not just talk, as Srini said, but we have a co-pilot live for you to demo. So as Yasmin logs into the platform, she's reminded by this data manifesto. We have written this many years ago, and this is really her starting point, her reminder that data has the key to the outcomes that she wants to scale. And if you read it, it's a bit small on the screen. If you read it, it reads like a poem. So who says art and data don't go hand in hand? I think we have the proof right here. So the first thing Yasmin does is go to her data segments. She goes to the data hub, goes to data sources, and she adds her data sources. And what she will find here is that she can upload all of her paid media data. She can upload all the campaigns that she's running across Facebook, across Google, across LinkedIn. She can integrate her CRM systems. Like HubSpot, Salesforce, and there will be integrations available across the analytics stack as well, right? So what does Jasmine do next? And within 24 hours, she sees this beautiful customer journey integrated on the platform. So what we're seeing here is we see the data being mapped. You can see the different stages here at the bottom, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel. It follows back the nomenclature that her campaigns follow. So she can see the ad impressions, ad clicks, ad sessions, the engaged sessions, and the conversions for her campaign. When she hovers over, she sees the different sources where this is coming from. So she can identify this amount of eyeballs is this channel driving for me, this amount of sessions on my website or app is this channel driving for me, and hence she gets an idea of what's going on. The other thing that Jasmine can do is look here at additions and kind of see stage by stage how things are stacking up day after day, and hence get a good grasp of how is my campaign, how's it progressing, how's the data telling me a story of how this campaign is running, right? So now this is Yasmin's data problem solved. The complex issues with data integration and kind of getting a unified view is now being solved here. So now that the fundamentals are in place, what we're gonna do next is unleash the AI. This is where it gets extra exciting. So hold on to your seats. What we'll do next is look at demand generation effectiveness. So if I scroll down here, you see all of the campaigns, line item by line item. It gives recommendations whether you want the campaign to give it a bit more time, to scale it up. It gives recommendations whether this campaign should be powered off. At the same time, the other recommendations that it's giving her through the AI is around the return on investment. So it looks at what is the investment or the budget set for that ad set, and it looks at the AI calculates what is the projected return on ad spend specifically for that set, right? So now we have a good, clear view on a campaign level of what's going on. The next step is then, of course, okay, now I understand my campaign. I now want to look at how do I drive growth? How do I optimize? And what do I do next, right? I need some educated decision making around this. And hence, what Yasmin can see here is the top 5 performing campaigns and the bottom 5 performing campaigns. It looks at what is the budget allocated for each. So what's the budget allocated for the top performing and the bottom performing? And through the AI, it is predicting if you were to switch your budget from the bottom performers to the top performers, what will be the incremental revenue or return on ad spend that the campaign will drive for you. And hence, it's giving you recommendations on what to scale up, what to pause, and what to abandon. Yeah? Then finally, just now when Han was sharing around what's happening within GX Banks, one of the mentions you made was around next best actions, right? So the capability to have a system look at all of your historical data, to understand your segments, to understand your campaigns and your ad sets, and then give you the recommendations on what to do next, not only on a campaign level, but also on a segment level. That is what we're doing here. What Yasmin will see is the specific segment that she is running this campaign on, which is mobile gamers. Of course, it can be expanded by the different segment that she's running. You see the campaign IDs, and then here this little icon tells us that this is AI generated. So here, what we're seeing is the next best action for this specific ad set is to double down on a YouTube campaign. At the same time, it's telling us the kind of the campaign types and the objectives that Yasmin needs to take. Okay, so what have we seen in this short demo? We have seen that Yasmin started off with a problem. Yeah, she had a headache. Her data was not matching. It was all over the place. It was hard for her to make decisions and to scale her campaigns. We saw how the marketing co-pilot integrated and unified all the data into one view, basically connecting her marketing data to her sales data. It helps to get an understanding of what's the return on ad spend and what is the next best actions that Yasmin should take. And with that, we have then accomplished that the full funnel marketing strategies for Yasmin are now within grasp, and thanks to the unified data and power of AI.
Good morning, everyone. I am Agnes, and I lead the product and data ops for e-commerce business practice. Let me kick it off with sharing a little bit of a typical challenges that an e-commerce business would face, right? E-commerce never sleeps. On top of e-commerce never sleeps, fast-paced, manual data processes, right? Data accessibility issue. What else? Disjointed updates between verticals, lack real-time sales inventory, error-prone financial reconciliation. Sounds about right? And it takes, whoever's in e-commerce here, right? It takes about, on average, 2 weeks to download your data, churn, analysis out of it. So let me share with you what our solutions are. With Copilot for e-commerce, you are now able to leverage on our AI-driven analytics platform for an integrated data overview and gain predictive insights. One of the solutions offering here is we are offering a simplified and customized AI data tool for different business personas, and you are now able to gain insights very quickly into, for example, your store performance, your category performance, subcategory, all the way to product level. You have your promo, buyer analysis, and not to forget the marketing team, supply chain, and also finance. We also offer AI-powered prescription, such as pricing elasticity and optimization. Now we're able to calculate our customer lifetime value real time, your demand projections, traffic analysis, what else? Inventory liquidation planner, and maybe margin projection, right? And many more. So these are all stated out in the white boxes. And I also wanted to emphasize 60 to 70% of the effort lies around an extensive data preparation for this Copilot initiative. Let me paint you a picture so that you get a better understanding of it. For example, data extraction process, right? It's extremely hectic. not all metrics are available through API, so we will need to find alternatives such as anonymous scraping. What that simply means is mimicking human behavior, and we have to be very careful with that process so that we don't get kicked out by different sales platform. Manual batching work, and not to forget different access protocol for different sales channel platforms. Data transformation. What does this mean, right? It basically takes our structured and unstructured data, cleaning it, normalizing it so that it's consistent and accurate, ready for data analysis. And finally, unifying this data into a centralized database, right? So that this will be our single source of truth. And there is a lot of meticulous resources put in place, such as, you need to merge, you need to deduplicate efforts across unifying data into a single source. So this is a solution that we are providing. And let me show you now how we turn 2 weeks worth of work into minutes. Right, I wanted to throw in a simple root cause analysis so that we can all better relate to this tool and what it's able to help us solve. So let's say the objective here is to want to grow Shopee's revenue of the total e-commerce business. How do we do that, right? And ultimately, we want to be able to quickly drill down to the smallest dependencies to understand revenue fluctuations. So what you can see here is in this store overview, we can quickly have a business, a pit stop check, right, on what our holistic e-commerce metrics are. So we're able to parade top key metrics here, such as your GMV, your number of orders, your average revenue per user, and so on. On top of that, we are able to gain insights through predictive. We are able to gain predictive insights through a discounting simulator using pricing elasticity built on Databricks. Right. So, for example, if we were to change up different discounting scenario, let's say throw in a 10% store-wide discount. So let's say if we were to throw in a 10% store-wide discount or simulate a 25% store-wide discount, we are able to see the impact to our demand projections here. Okay, what do I want to show you next, right? So moving on to KPIs, a KPI overview. This visualization paints us a simplistic comparison of an overall customer purchasing behavior, right? Similarly, we are able to play with different discounting scenarios. If we were to throw in a 10% or a 25%, we are able to understand the impact of demand over here. So what we are seeing here is Shopee is projected to have a lower purchasing power compared to Lazada for the rest of the months, right? So this comes to mind, is this a pricing issue or is this an assortment issue, right? So let's continue drilling down, understanding our category overview. So category overview, so it's very clear that customers are willing to spend a little bit more in mother and baby category, but somehow it's not projecting into GMV, right? And why is that? So this is something we want to further drill down again, very quickly, understanding KPIs, right? So prior to that, we understand that people are willing to spend more. So what comes to your mind? Is this an assortment issue? Shopee doesn't carry enough assortments versus Lazada? Or is it an out of stock situation, right? So in this view, it's very clear that it's proven that Shopee doesn't have any assortment in mother and baby, and it's proven in this trended view. So now we know it's an assortment issue. What's next? What product should we be bringing in, right? So we want to be understanding the subcategory overview. So this table, it's a very simple table, but we're able to unify data between Lazada and Shopee, customize and unify category trees as well according to your brand's preference. Very quickly, we are able to identify there is no assortment at all for Shopee. If we were to look at health and beauty, right, what's missing is also the men's care category in Shopee, and probably lacking in skincare as well, because Lazada is generating quite a high GMV saliency. Now, the last part, what SKUs do you want to be bringing in to close that GMV gap, right, for Shopee? So this table paints that, again, very quickly, we are able to see that these top 2 SKUs are performing on Lazada, and this is something that we can quickly action on. Speak to your supply chain team to bring this assortment over to Shopee, right? So this is one way to grow, quickly understanding where the root cause is. So quickly jumping over to the promo overview, we can also grow Shopee's GMV by understanding our promo performance in a single pane. So over here, we have the capability to quickly compare GMV with, let's say, for example, total spend, right? Or if you want to compare with ROI, or you want to compare with AOV, right? We have, one of our key features is the ability to also customize a target value based on different brands' target, and also match it against a running average of the actual performance. So we can, one quick action that we can do is to optimize perhaps the voucher minimum spend threshold so that it can be as close as possible to the target value, right? So that's another way of growing Shopee's GMV very quickly. And the last one is you have to understand your buyer segment in order to grow the one metric that matters to us, right? GMV. So this buyer segmentation, it's basically your new customers versus returning customers. And over here, okay, let's see. So very quickly again, we can see that Shopee is driving more new customer acquisition, but is really weak on repeating customers. So this is something that we can quickly improve. And we are able to switch into different metrics view. Let's say AOV here, right? So one way, how can we quickly improve repeat purchases? Perhaps bundling. We know that it's hovering around $14. So maybe do a bundling activity to increase that AOV so that people tend to purchase a little bit more on Shopee. So what have you seen here? We've typically know the what through your Excels, right? But now with this, you're able to quickly learn the whys, right? And by drilling down into the smallest dependency very quickly. And this can be done in a minute, right? So to summarize, we have 3 ways to grow Shopee's GMV. We understand that it's an assortment gap, promo needs to be optimized, and improve your repeat customers. And just closing it off, we went beyond this. We also have a CoPilot e-commerce, CoPilot for e-commerce marketing. We also have CoPilot e-commerce for operations. This would be helpful for your demand planners and the supply chain. And we also have CoPilot for e-commerce finance. So if you want to know more about these products, like reach me out there. My colleagues and I will be there to happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Keith from Customer Engagement Solutions. Now, you've seen a couple of interesting sharing, right, in regards to how you can utilize AI to analyze your business performance for marketing and commerce. Any guess what is the next big item to look out for when it comes to AI? Exactly. Thanks, Srini. So, actually, the next most important thing that you need to think about is how do you actually come up with an automation, with some automation when it comes to effective communication with your end clients, right? But we all know that we are not living in the perfect world, right? Simply because in terms of how you can actually design effective conversational chatbots, it's becoming more and more complex, Why is that so, right? We are dealing with increasingly complex data, right? We have multiple data sources. So how do you actually amalgamate all of this into a single platform? And on top of that, these are just some of the issues or challenges being faced by our clients when it comes to adopting AI chatbots. First of all, how do you ensure that all the time your customer will be greeted by someone that sounds like a local, right? Because of globalization, you're going to be having customers or clients coming from all over the world. And having a chatbot that's able to handle all these lingo requirements becomes increasingly challenging. Next, how do you scale up, right? How do you ensure that we have a chatbot that is able to provide a personalization experience all the time, and also being able to allocate resource challenges, address resource challenges by being able to distribute the workload and never sleeps. So with that in mind, we are driven to come up with a solution, CoPilot for Conversational AI, right? Which acts like a human being, provide a human-like personalization experience, and also being able to be tailored to provide multilingual support. What's more important is that the chatbot needs to be able to learn consistently, right? So being able to have a templatized format for you to pick up different business use cases for your chat operation will be highly important. And finally, how do we ensure that we have an ecosystem that allows the chatbot to continuously learn? So here, I'd like to share with you a brief demo. But before I start playing, just to note that this is not packaged stuff. So if you'd like to know more, you can visit us at our booth later. So this is actually a proprietary built messaging platform by ADA. It's a very simple process for you to create your own chatbot. First of all, you just need to select the learning documents that you'd like to enrich the chatbot with. For instance, in this case, you might have brochures, you might have PDFs, text files, Excel document, so on and so forth, as well as your web link as well. You could all ingest this into the chatbot. Right? Once you click train, the chatbot will actually pick up the learning. The next, you might ask, okay, it might sound very daunting, right? How am I going to create my own chatbot? Don't worry, we have a solution for you. In here, we have actually templatized different business use cases that you can adopt as templates. So say, for instance, you like to create a chatbot that's able to handle FAQs, you can do so, right? And just with a few simple clicks, there you go. You have your own AI chatbot on the way. So the next journey is where, how do we actually customize my chatbot journey? So because we all know that customer conversation is not always about AI, right? You don't always rely on a bot to be able to handle your customer conversations. You will also need human intervention at times, right? So in this scenario, we are able to come out with a hybrid model, which means to say you can actually decide at which part of the digital journey you would like your customer to be greeted or to be served by an AI chatbot. Right? So with a few simple configuration, you already have your AI chatbot journey. Right. So using this methodology, we have already seen some good success in different industries, right? For instance, insurance. How can we actually utilize AI chatbot to serve your customers? You talk about use cases like policy information retrieval, claim assistance, policy renewal, risk assessment, etc. Right. Likewise for banking, right? We've also seen some interesting use cases. We have been talking about digital onboarding for the longest time, but how do we enable that? AI could be the way to go, because as you can see here, there are different applications that can be used, different formats of documents that it supports, and also the ability to process complex requirements. Likewise, for retail, right? We are shifting more towards the commerce scenarios here. Can we actually have a chatbot that allow you to sell on your agent's behalf, right? At any point of the day, any point of time of the day, the chatbot is able to understand, comprehend what the client needs, and able to recommend the right offerings to the customers. E-commerce as well. and also FMCG. Now, we have seen a lot of application use cases when it comes to offline to online applications, right? For instance, when you run campaigns, how do you actually entice customers to participate? Just simply by scanning the QR code of the product labels, take them through WhatsApp, and there you go, you got a new customer lead from then on. We have also seen property industries adopting this quite a lot. How do you actually entice customers to visit a showroom, right? Because I think property industry is kind of different from a lot of the other industries, whereby it requires a lot of consultations with the customer. So as a result, having a chatbot in place will actually make a difference as well. So in short, these are just some of the value propositions that we could think of when it comes to AI chatbot, right? In tailored localization with multilingual support. We talk about human-like personalization, customizable deployment options, as well as chatbot persona. So in our solution, we are also able to help you develop the specific persona that resonates best with your company branding. Instant knowledge access. So with the integration capability of the chatbot, right, we could also look at your first-party data platforms in terms of how we can actually extract learning from multiple different asset bases as well. And also multi-channel integration. These days, we don't only talk about a single messaging channel for you to communicate with your customers, right? You could talk about WhatsApp, you could talk about Messenger, as well as SMS, etc. So in this case, the ability to support multi-channel integration will be highly important. Okay, with that, I shall wrap up my presentation today, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Alzani, for the introduction. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will walk you through how our clients have been using, or how the brands have been using advanced analytics for faster speed of market, with our proprietary database. Now, imagine this. Traditionally, how do you find who your competitors' customers are? You perhaps stalk them, stand outside the stores, competitor stores, run some short survey. 2 weeks later, gather 300, 400 sample size, analyze those data, give you a snippet or insights of your competitors' target segments, right? Traditionally, how do you find where should you place your next store? Or how do you optimize your store planning? A question that George has been mentioning just now as well. Traditionally, it has been done with, surveying the locations, seeing if your target segment is at the specific locations. You narrow down a few choices, you shortlisted some, you interview, you done survey, you observe if the location or the people are actually interested in your products. How long does it take? Depending on number of locations that you want to look at. The whole Malaysia, take weeks, take months, for a small sample size. Now, how do we help our brands to actually grow faster in days, in 1 to 2 weeks? We track smartphones, as we mentioned just now, 400 million profiles across the 9 markets. We know their gender, their age group, their affluence level, be it low, mid, high affluence. We know their online interests, as in what apps, free open apps they have in their phone. Offline location, point of interest they are seen, when are they seen? All right, so who they are, when are they appearing in certain location, and where your customers or target segments are actually located. So that's audience segments. Now, those on Databricks marketplace, download high affluence women, certain age group 18 to 34, interested in beauty products, right? And then have it on the whole heat map on where the footfall density is very high for the target segment. Now imagine another scenario. High affluent men, 35 and above, with investment or finance app in their phone, right? For selling them premium products, premium watches, insurance products, having the stores located where the highest footfall of these target segment are, and set up your bank location there. Your KPI or bank branches, our clients use that for store planning, the branch planning, trigger blueprint using such data. How have you been planning your store's location so far? How have you been understanding your customers or competitors' customers so far? Right? This is available, what we've done for our clients with lower cost per lead, online or offline, right? And also faster speed to market. Now, I kept using the word traditionally just now, but those are actually what most clients are doing, right? But for us, how we help our clients for faster speed to market, and then a few use cases. Consumer profiling. Joe fans certain locations, Joe fans McDonald's, Pizza Hut, KFC, for example. Find out who those people are still going to certain locations, certain stores, who they are, when are they going there, should you relocate some stores. That's consumer profiling and location planning as well. And data enrichment. So let's say you have an awesome insights team, right? And you just want those data from us, proprietary database, and your insights team will run those actionable outcomes, right? And yeah, you can purchase the blocks of data, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million. We have 27 million devices that we track in Malaysia, 400 across the nine markets. Or you want to map it against with your apps. For example, you have 1 million app owners. You match it with our IDFA, identifier for advertisers, our exact database, right? And then you want to enrich those customer information with affluence level, with online interest, offline interest, so that you know your customers better. So those are the 4 pillars, the key pillars that we offer for faster speed to market. Now onto the demo, the live demo. I'm just going to show you how an audience segment creator can be easily crafted and easily downloaded for your targeting, for your understanding of those audience segment. Okay, so gender, very simply, female, beauty, affluent age group, which I say 18 to 34. Affluence, you can put high over here. And then you have your, sorry, this is all again, let me refresh. But those show you how you're going to have those IFA generated in a list of IFA based on all these attributes that you can click on, right? And then, imagine this, how our clients have been using the target segments to do their planning. This is for a public transport provider in Malaysia, because you could see some of the train line names over there. Now, you geofence each of the train stations, or maybe even surrounding areas, 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers, you extract those profiles. If you're a train service provider, you now know the profiles of each of the train station. Now, if you want to sell advertising space in the train station, by time block, 6 to 9 p.m. is frequented by 35 to 50-year-old, for example, who are gamers, skewed towards health and fitness, in station A, D, and F, for example. Then you know this slot is more relevant to clients selling those categories, right? And the out-of-home billboard, digital billboard in each train station would then maximize the reach and exposure to the right target client. If not, you're selling that all day long, you don't know the profiles of those passengers, and you don't know how much to charge for advertising in each of your train station. Another view, you want to optimize your tenancy in each train station. Should I put a bookstore in train station A, train station E, or F, or all 3? Right? But knowing the profiles, for example, the certain age group, certain affluent level, and also having book reading app in their phone, right? Those are the target segment that most likely, if you place bookstore in this area, you will at least have some bookworms passing by or at least visiting the source. Higher chance of conversion. And how about the other view? If you're not train service provider, but you run a bookstore chain, which train station should I actually go to? And now I narrow down to, personally I narrow down to 7 stations. I have budget to open 3. Which 3? Download this audience segment by train station. And then look at which one you should actually open your store. Right? We have brands who work with this. They narrow down to 10 shopping malls and they see which one is more relevant to their profiles, high affluence, book reading apps, and then they open the store. That's how we work with our clients. And what else over here? You have your rental optimization, you have your advertising. You as the retailer across different verticals know which train station to go to, or maybe you want to run on-the-ground event. Now, a lot of us know you just target online, on Facebook, on Google, on YouTube, on whatever channel it is. But how about targeting on-the-ground event at what time? Right? You know that bookworm or health fitness person visits certain train station on a weekend at the daytime. Maybe they travel by train and then they head to a park and then they go hiking. Which one should you have on-the-ground event at what time to maximize your reach? Yeah? So these are some of the examples of how we help our client. Of course, we have many use cases as well. Some of it, like for example, this one, Ampang Sri Patani train line, KL Monorail train line, and then we see the differences by the age group. Okay, just a few clicks here, you can see, refreshing, and then which are the specific train station that you should target. Monorail, I know that it has more of the older skew because it passed through Bukit Bintang, it's a CBD area, you have older skew. Kelana Jaya line, you pass through universities, you pass through residential area. Obviously, you have a good split of people across different age group. Which station, when, where, who, right? So that sums up what I want to show you today. But more importantly, there's plenty of use cases when you think about these solutions that we have. Download the audience segments. You can know who your customers are, where they are frequenting, your competitors' customers. Where else should you open your store? Well, we can have a chat further with our colleagues there, JS Cardinal, at our booth. All right, thank you so much.